unemployment, and I'm unemployed. I do not have a job, but legally I'm not classified as unemployed because to be unemployed you have to you have to be an adult first of all, you have to not have a job, and you have to be eligible. And so technically, because I have a disability and I'm receiving disability support benefits, I'm not legally classified as unemployed, but I still don't have a job, and I still have many issues because of my lack of a job. I'm probably not going to fight the dragon, actually, because of the fucking... I should do something else, man. Because of the fucking, yeah. Let's see if there's any other... Wait, what? Oh my fucking god. No, I don't... Okay, let's try, let's not do anything. Let's literally just walk around, man. So I want to talk about employment for a little bit because, yeah, I don't have a job, and this year most of my income is from the government, which is disability support pension, yeah? Sometimes my mom gives me a little bit of extra money on the side, but it's not much. And my dad also has given me some money, but not much. When you don't have a job for a long time, it's like you get stronger in a way because you have to fucking improvise. Like, you have to find something to do that isn't fucking, like just eating at a restaurant or whatever, because that's going to drain your bank account incredibly quickly, especially in a place like Sydney, So, one of the things I've realized about myself is part of the reason I did stand up for so long is because I've been unemployed for so long, and so I feel a weird sense of like resentment towards stand up because like it's not my favorite thing. It's not even in my top 5 favorite activities, but because of the nature of just being really fucking depressed and having no job and also just no friends in Sydney. I've literally had no friends for pretty much my entire time in Sydney, and I've been here, 16 years going. So it sucks massive balls. And when you do stand-up, you have, stand-up friends, but they're not real friends because they don't ever want to hang out with me outside of stand-up, and that hurts, but it's something, And because of all the work I've done towards, towards stand-up, I feel a sense of, well, you might as well keep going at this point. Like, yeah, theoretically speaking, if I was given the right supports, if I had a lot more money, I would probably have made movies or, written my own musical or done way more ambitious stuff. And I probably would have learned gymnastics and jiu-jitsu and all kinds of shit. I really would have. I would have had... Money would have helped me significantly. But now it's like, well, here I am. I'm at a point where things are going pretty good. They're still kind of shitty, but things used to be even worse. So anyway...
I work with my mother. Sell fruits and vegetables.
With that being said, it's like I think I've actually said this in another stream. Maybe I haven't. Okay, well anyway, no one listens to my shit, so I'll just repeat it. Okay. I believe that even though filmmaking has its benefits, filmmaking is a full-time occupation. Whether you're a director or a scriptwriter, it takes up a big chunk of your time. Maybe scriptwriter is different, right? But anyway, filmmakers, whether you're a director or producer, like you're working on set, editors too, right? You're doing so much work. But if you're a stand-up comedian, in my opinion, it is the greatest full-time job in the world. Sorry, I misspoke. It's the greatest part-time job in the world. And even the greatest comedians of all time, even the best guys alive right now, whether it's your Bobby Lees, your Santinos, your Rogans, they're all doing stand-up part-time. Even if it pays a lot of money, they're still doing it part-time, and podcasting might help them with their stand-up, but the stand-up itself is a part-time thing, if that makes sense. Podcasting would be like a supplement or a separate job altogether, technically.
Maybe some other time I'll reveal your destiny.
And I believe that if I were to just quit comedy altogether, I'll kind of be shooting myself in the foot here because, like, I've done so much already. I've developed skill, and I've gotten to a point where, like, it's a weird thing to be unemployed and so broke, and yet you just have this confidence because you've done stand-up for so long, like me. And I've tried to innovate, and I've tried to get better, and I've tried to be one of the best, man. And in some ways I haven't succeeded, but in other ways I'm like, okay, but I'm getting there. I am, and it's great because I've talked to so many people with jobs who fucking hate their job. They fucking hate their life. It sucks. Because they kind of feel like they're stuck in a dead-end situation, you know? I remember this one guy, he was so fucking grumpy at me. Just, like, unnecessarily grumpy. He was like, you're not listening to me, mate. I'm like I was trying to cooperate with him, but he was such a prick. You know? And it's like, that guy didn't want to work in that place where he was working. This was in, like, in an airport convenience store or whatever. And he sucked. He was so shitty to be around. And it's like, I've done gigs where I was eating shit on stage, and I traveled an hour to get there, traveled an hour to get back, and I was not doing well, and I still felt better in those moments than that guy felt while getting paid to do his job because of the prospect. Not even the reality, but the prospect of someday making money from this. I know people. I know many people. I've met many people who made it, you know, in some way, right? Like, I know Sam Campbell, and Sam Campbell would recognize me if he saw me. He may not think I'm his best friend, but he knows who I am. I know Dan Rath. Dan Rath knows me. I know Aaron Chen. I know Tom Cashman from the Taskmaster show. You know, these people, they're now, you know, on television, or they're touring, or whatever. Aaron Chen is on Netflix now. He's got his little Netflix special. It's not very good. I didn't like it, but that's okay. The important thing is, like, I don't feel that sense of... I don't really feel very jealous of these people because to get to where they got, they had to play the game in the traditional way. And I kind of just fucked off the traditional path altogether, and so my journey will be longer than theirs. But the payoff is going to be incredible because I'm going to own all the IPs that I'm part of, or I'm going to have a big chunk of the, you know, of the stakes involved. You know, I'm going to be, because I've studied everything from marketing to copyright to small business to scalability and entrepreneurship, and I just know that, you know, like, the industry isn't set up for you to be educated about this shit. You know, they kind of set you up so that you're like a hound dog, not a hound dog, like a racehorse or a greyhound. You know, they want you to work and they want to take as much money from you as possible. It's inherently exploitative. And so someone like me trying to self-empower, like, that's fucking ballsy. And I know there's a payoff because, like, think about this, right? You're in a movie. You're the star of the movie. They cut you a check to be in this movie. Whether the movie makes $1 billion or $100 million, you've been paid, and that's great. But if you're a producer and you're like an executive producer, and you've helped fund this movie through your own production, you know, agency. I don't know if it's called your studio, your own studio. Then you have a much bigger stake. You have a much bigger likelihood of failing because you've put all your money into it. But you also have a much bigger odds of making a lot of money. And that's why, even though Jim Carrey was the bigger star compared to Adam Sandler has made exponentially more money because he got his own studio, his own production company, Happy Madison. Yeah, not Billy Madison, Happy Madison. And the movies he's churned out have been, like, ranging from decent to pure dog shit. But he just kept churning them out, man. And I don't believe I'm going to necessarily end up with Adam Sandler money. But I don't really need Adam Sandler money to be happy. I don't need to be Adam Sandler level fucking rich to be happy in life. So anyway, this video was called Unemployment, so I guess I'll talk about unemployment specifically, like, okay, so when you're unemployed, right, it's not like a vacation. It's not like a day off. It's a very different thing, and in my opinion, it's incredibly draining and suffocating. It's like living in the airport. It's like literally, like imagine you're in the airport. You know how like when you go to the airport, you know, it's like kind of annoying, but you know, it's exciting because you're about to go somewhere. Imagine you just live there. You know, like how everything in the airport is really fucking expensive? That's what it's like to be unemployed because you have so little money that everything is expensive. In reference to, in comparison to how much money you have, which is very little. There's nothing to do, just like how you're when you're unemployed. There's really nothing to do. Like, realistically, everything that you can do costs money. So every day I wake up and I have to do something, and I can't just sit at home and play video games because that doesn't feel like an option. I used to, when I was younger, just play video games all day. And you know what? It wasn't that bad, but eventually I was like, I'm kind of sick of this shit. I want to do something else. I don't think this is the right path for me. I think I'm going to start dying from the cold, maybe. Can I eat the snowberries? Maybe. It says resist fire. Okay, that's not good. And when I do have a job, look, I don't know why I've never held a proper job. I don't know why. And it is like a sore subject for me because I often get told that I'm a really smart person. I often get told that I'm a standout and I'm a talented person, whatever, but for some reason I've never been able to hold down a regular job. And I've tried. I've applied for many jobs. And whenever I've gotten a job, usually it's just it's not a great job. It's quite unpleasant. And, that guy looks like the intro guy, doesn't he? I am so cooked, bro. Bro, I'm fucking cooked. Oh my god, I keep forgetting that I have a spell. I've worked many different jobs. I worked at Daiso, I worked at a butcher, I worked at TK Maxx, I worked at a catering place at ANZ Stadium, and a bunch more. At Kmart, I worked for 1 week, and they just never called me back. And that was my last, like, official job. 2022 was at Kmart, where they asked me to open boxes, and that was pretty much the entire job. You just open boxes for a couple of hours. And it's like, I don't think I fucked it up. I think I followed the instructions the way they wanted. You know what I mean? Like, it was so weird because the guy who was there, like, who inducted me or whatever, he was a pretty nice guy. And, like, he even gave me shoes, like, as part of the company. They gave me, like, these free boots, which was quite nice of them. And, you know, and I think they gave me gloves and and like these this pocket knife, whatever. They gave me a lot of stuff, man. And anyway, they just never called me back. And I've actually shoplifted from Kmart many times out of spite. Just because, like, at that point, I just knew that these people were so fucking incompetent and careless that they're not going to care. And I stopped shoplifting. I don't shoplift anymore, but I've done it like enough times where, like, yeah, it doesn't matter too much. There's not really much else to say about the shoplifting other than, like, literally everywhere I used to work, I've shoplifted at least once. And I don't regret it. I used to work at Woolworths, I've shoplifted from them. I used to work at fucking TK Maxx, I've shoplifted from them. I used to work at Kmart, I've shoplifted from them. I used to work at Dazai, I've shoplifted from them. I don't give a fuck about these companies. I truly don't. They're not good for the environment. They underpay their staff, and they make shitty fucking products that they barely add any value. It's a capitalist system, and it sucks. But anyway, I still don't shoplift anymore. I just, yeah. You know, being unemployed for so long, it's like, it almost makes you feel a sense of, like, I don't know how to describe it, like you're almost alienated from the world because your day-to-day experience is so different from other people's. In a way, I know I'm not rich, but I genuinely sometimes feel like a rich person. And I guess the thing about me, my saving grace, like my silver lining is that I didn't just not work. I was unemployed for a while, and I still don't have a proper job. But my saving grace was that I kept studying and I kept doing stand-up. And you know, like how some people, like when they're fat, everyone tells them that every problem they have is about them being fat. When I was unemployed, that kind of happened to me as well. Like, I would tell my mom that she was upsetting me or whatever, and she would just say, yeah, you know what your problem is? Your problem is you don't have a job, so get a job, and then you stop being so. Like, it kind of became an all-consuming thing, and I'm glad that I didn't let it become an all-consuming thing, you know? Like, I'm glad that I try to expand myself, whether it's exercise or meditation or therapy, all kinds of shit. And by expanding myself and improving myself and continuing to be unemployed, I kind of realized that I'm not really the problem here. The problem is the system is pretty fucked up. Yeah, theoretically, I could have done more to conform within confines of the system, but, you know, there's only so much you could do. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, I might get a job. I don't know. It's just, you never know. Maybe the stand-up thing, maybe my own business ventures, maybe something will pop off that will actually make it so that I actually don't need a job. And that would be really fascinating.